Hello there, my name is Kenneth Ezaga. This is the first of a few videos I intend to make in the hope that I can rally Nigerians out there who see our domestic sports in the way that I do. Nigerians will understand that our first responsibility as a country is to fully support and invest in our domestic sports, and as such, create a mammoth industry that will drive economic activity across our country such as we have not seen in decades. All over the world, sports is big business. Domestic sports, even more so. That's why you'll find that every progressive economy in the world, without exception, prioritizes sports. I mean, look at the big ones like the United States, the UK, Germany, France, China, you name it. These are countries where the government and big business combine to pump billions of dollars into the sports industry and reap huge economic and socio-cultural benefits every year. Now, my best example of how progressive countries view sports has to be the tiny European country called San Marino. Total population just 33,000 people. Yet, San Marino has a national football league, a national basketball league, a national volleyball league, and even a national rugby team that competes in the Italian championships. Now, look at our country, Nigeria. Over 200 million people and counting. Yet there is not a single sporting event in this country that you and I can be proud of. There is not one day in the year when you and I as Nigerians gather in our homes, in our bars, in our sporting arenas to celebrate our champions. Now, instead of developing our domestic sports and reaping the huge benefits that come with this, you and I are spending an inordinate amount of our time promoting and investing in foreign sports, promoting this to our children and to ourselves in this country. Look at the success of the EPL in Nigeria, the English Premier League. Everywhere you go in our country today, everyone is talking about the EPL. From men and women of 80 to children of 5 years old and under, it is all Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, you name it. It doesn't matter whether you're talking to captains of industry, leaders in government, agberos, bus conductors, petrol attendants. It doesn't matter. All of us are on the same wavelength when it comes to the EPL. You know, you'll be forgiven to think that, we have never played football in this country, or that by some royal decree or some colonial decree, the EPL is now the domestic football league in this country. Like we don't have our own leagues, like we don't have our own clubs, our own players, our own stories to tell, our own history and our own heritage to protect. Look, if you're over 50 in this country like I am, you must realize that we're tomorrow's ancestors. It is to us that the history and the heritage of this country has been passed to protect, to enrich, and then to pass on to the next generation with pride. Today, we're doing no such thing. Rather, we're patching ourselves and our children onto the history and the heritage of the English. Same people who colonized our forebears for centuries. The same people you and I whine every day in this country are responsible for all of the problems that we have as Nigeria. All right? But let me tell you, we're making the same mistakes that our forebears made that made them so easy to colonize, prioritizing our individual gains and pleasures over the greater good, over collectively building rich and prosperous societies for our offspring. Let me tell you, my guys, we won't do anything. Or you not carry gun, come here and say you must destroy your football league and come and watch our own. Or you not tell you, say, all the money that you have worked for, you must give us part of that money to pay to watch our football. It is all your choices. We're all suffering for these consequences of the silly decisions that we've taken in this country. But it is not us that I'm worried about. We are over 50. We're the unproductive past. It is the future that we must be concerned about, because the future from where I stand looks absolutely bleak. Because you and I have almost guaranteed the self-enslavement of our next generation to the English and the West, socio-culturally and economically. Look at the young ones, our children. Look at them all over. Look at them all around. What are they wearing? All of them are wearing Manchester United, Arsenal jersey proudly. They're wearing it proudly and even pompously in some cases. If you tell them about Rangers and Bendel Insurance, they look at you like you're from the Stone Age. Rangers and Bendel Insurance, do those who want to play football? Is that one football too? We're talking about football, okay? These kids are so far gone that they don't even understand anymore, that they're laughing at themselves and pissing on their own history and their own heritage. And who do you think is responsible for this? Is it not you and I? Are we not the ones who have raised them to think that they live in a global village and that they are free to support any club that they want to support? Global village, is it? So when you lot go to the United Kingdom now, you see all those small Uyibo boys wearing Eyimba and Bendel insurance. Okay, let me even help you. Our own is not good enough, never good enough, right? Okay, so do you see those young Uyibo boys in England giving up their own Arsenal or even Oxford Town team to go and be doing Barcelona and Real Madrid all over the place? Let me even bring it closer. Scotland shares the same border with England. Shares the same border, the same history, the same country, Great Britain, with England. So when you go to Scotland, you think you see those young Scots give up their own Aberdeen and Motherwell and Celtic and Rangers and be shouting Liverpool and Arsenal all over the place? So why is it that we in Africa, Nigeria, 6,000 miles from the United Kingdom, why are we the ones carrying the EPL on our heads like it's our history and heritage passed on to us by our parents to pass on to our children the way we are doing today? Why? Why do we not ever consider, our place in the world when we do these things? But so if you think the way I do, please, you have to reach out to me because time is running out for us. We have to come together and fight back as a pack. We can't do this individually. I've tried for a number of years and I'm not making any impact. I'm sure some of you have tried the same in your circles of influence and you're not making any impact because we're vastly outnumbered by Nigerians who probably have not thought as deeply as we have about this, or just generally don't care because they somehow feel disenfranchised, in this country. You know what I mean? So we need to come together. We need to come together. There's a leadership void in the sports industry that needs filling. No one is taking responsibility. Everybody's pointing fingers at everybody else. But in reality, it is all our responsibility to look, to protect and nourish our history and our heritage. If you and I come together, we can become the rallying point for success in this country. Nobody ever does what you expect. People only do what you inspect, and nobody is inspecting the sports industry in the manner that they should in this country. You and I can do that. We can become the biggest advocates for support for domestic sports in Nigeria, but we will also be the biggest scrutinizers of everything and everyone in that industry. If anybody is standing in the way of our collective success, and I'm talking about an industry that's potentially worth 3 trillion naira to our economy every year. If anybody is standing in the way of the success of this industry, they will hear from us. It's called people power. It doesn't matter if they are government. You're a minister, you're a governor, you're a senator, you're a high-ranking whatever. Rather than spend the opportunity to serve, spend your waking hours to try and, make this industry succeed and create hundreds of thousands of jobs across our country. You're doing Manchester United, Arsenal, and Liverpool, and you're influencing millions of young Nigerians across the country. You will hear from us. If you're a brand, you make all your money from this country. Now it's time to sponsor our sport. You say that our sport is not sexy enough for you. You want to go and do international sport, you're an international brand. You're destroying your market and going to use your money from this, taking your money from this sick economy to go and create opportunities in already wealthy economies. We will come after you. If you're a sports federation leadership, your business is to run clean and transparent operations to vastly improve your chances of success. But if you are instead doing kurukere business because you want to steal the crumbs on the floor rather than lift your head and see the mammoth feast on the table, we will come after you. If you are in the media, your business is now to be promoting sports in other countries when you are supposed to be the ones telling our stories. You're supposed to be the ones telling our stories in the world in such a way that the world buys into us. But yet you're giving free publicity to the EPL, morning, night, and day, across television, radio, print media, social media, everywhere. Do you know what it will cost if we had to put a financial value to the free publicity you give to the EPL? Do you know what we'll be talking about? We're talking about hundreds of billions of naira every year that you give them. Yet when a local sports organizer comes to you to come and help them promote their news, you will ask them to pay. You see the way the black man reasons. You ask them to pay before you do, and you're giving free publicity to other people everywhere else. We will come after everyone. If you the fans, you're the only ones who are going to live to your own devices. Do you understand? If you think that it is okay for us to to be donating our monies to other countries, rich countries. Do you know, monies that we have sweated for, while we're creating jobs in those countries, while we're losing jobs in our own countries, right? And we're watching the unemployment figures hit record highs. If that's okay with you, no problem. Let's leave it like that. Let's all be my guest. So if you flow with me, my name is Kenneth Zaga. Please hit me up on Facebook or Instagram today. Do you understand? Let's start sharing our ideas and progressing these ideas to concrete plans that will ensure that we can make the sporting industry the country-changing industry that it can be, the country-changing success that it can become. You know, up next, I'm going to be talking to you about, the opportunity cost of putting our money in the EPL as opposed to putting our money in the MPFL. The numbers are insane. It doesn't make sense. And if this doesn't force you to re-examine everything you have always thought to be true, then I honestly don't see where salvation is going to come from. Thank you.